podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
You don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me. So, talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the Boxing Voice.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition with the Boxing Voice Radio. It is Saturday morning, and we are joined alongside a few hosts to discuss something very important. Obviously, you're going to have to jump on my magic carpet and ride with me. You know, I'm a dreamer, but I think this can happen. And I'm talking about Canelo Alvarez and Errol Spence having been presented with a major opportunity to host a pay-per-view showdown in Texas. Now, I know we all want to see them fight each other, but I mean separately, which is why it's a major opportunity, because they both get to get a bag during this C-19 time, this pandemic, right? So we'll give you all the details, because I know you're wondering how are they going to hold showdowns? Well, you guys are even going to be able to be in attendance. Now, I don't know if you can actually make it, you know what I mean? Ticket prices might be expensive, but let's talk about it. We're going to go on out to our furthest correspondent from across the pond, Coach Mitty. What's going on? Welcome back. You've gotten a great reception. People really love the way you're sticking it to these Wilder fanboys and letting them know the truth is what I'm seeing in the comment section. But what's up? Good afternoon to you out in the UK. What up?
Good afternoon. Well, I'm going to go again. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Midday, the coach. Yeah, so now I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being part of the panel. And I'm that voice from across the pond, right? So I have to represent for what we stand for and let you know what time it is. So, but that's good. Like, you know, I like it, and I'm ready to talk about that topic, about that mega pay-per-view showdown. So let's get into it.
Coming back to New Jersey, Alexander, good morning.
I'm the most brutal and most vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their claw. There's no one that can match.
Champ! Good morning, y'all. I hope y'all woke up, happy as can be on this Saturday morning, regardless of all the craziness that's going on, especially in our country at this very moment. But, get that cup of coffee ready. If you fancy that tea across the pond, get it ready. We'll be talking Canelo and Spence. We've been talking about this for a little bit. We like it. We love it. Can it happen? Let's kick it. Marioski.
It's me, Mario.
What is up, Ness? Coach and the trainer. See, I wish we could go back in time, and when we were trying to see what shows that we could add, I would have added the suggestion, the coach and the trainer, Doomy and Mitty, and them chopping up how I could get myself in better shape, and also, piece people up in case they try to be messing with my wife or something at the movies, man, I'm definitely excited to talk about anything and everything that has to do with my neck of the woods in Texas. What's up, fellas? Let's, without further ado, chop it up.
What up, what up? So, this is what's going on. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has issued a revised order. Not only will he allow professional sports leagues to be allowed to resume play in June, but outdoor stadiums will be allowed to host fans up to 25% of their capacity. So, what is my plan? Definitely, again, Mr. Lioness, not paying attention and pitting these two men against each other. No, too much politics for that. Too much politics, not enough money because of the pandemic. Absolutely not. We are not here to discuss Canelo versus Earl, but instead, Canelo versus maybe Billy Joe, who he was already scheduled to face. Canelo versus whoever, and Earl versus Danny, without a doubt, in Texas, in Cowboy Stadium. Cowboy holds what, 100,000, 80,000? What's 25% of that, Mario? 20 to 25,000 paying tickets? 25,000 paying tickets. I mean, didn't Wilder Fury sell less tickets than that and do something near almost 18 million? And yeah, I get it. No, pandemic-ness, listen. You got to pay like you weigh. If this ain't for you, this ain't for you. You ain't. It's only 25,000. So maybe it's 25,000 rich people the way it was for Mayweather Pacquiao. I wasn't allowed to go. Was I there? Yeah, I was credentialed, but I wasn't allowed to buy a ticket. I don't have that type of money to spend on a ticket. But if they could get 25,000 paying fans, they're going to try and get as much as possible. We will not see $10 tickets or a toy drive or a can drive where I bring a can of food and you give me a boxing ticket. We've seen these things done before. But again, Billy Joe, Canelo, Earl, Danny. Does Earl maybe say, okay, look, I'm not Canelo. I can't do 25,000 people. Maybe he can, I think, but it is a pandemic, right? So maybe Al and his team say, no, you go to the Star. What you did with Campos, 14,000, what's the capacity there? What would be 25% of that? But they've given these two men options, and I say these two because they are the ones with the drawing power in that state of Texas. But what do you guys think about my crazy idea? Possible?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I saw Earl and Canelo next to each other. There wasn't much on the pre-pro, so I didn't know exactly what was going on. But if this is a Texas showdown, I'm with it, man. Texas showdown for Earl or Canelo. They both do big numbers out there. Big numbers. The question is, who's the dance partner? Who is going to go ahead and make this big fight?
Everybody's going with Showdown. I thought I put an S. Didn't I put Showdowns?
Yeah, you did put Showdown.
There you go. It's more than one, champs. More than one. Because Danny got to get his mandatory, Doomy. So, Earl, I would love Earl to do 100,000 with Canelo, but it's a pandemic. They can't get 100,000. So why even waste that fight now? No, do your mandatory with Danny and get 25% of whatever arena or stadium you choose to fight in.
So it's mandatory, you said?
Yeah, well, Danny's the mandatory challenger for the WBC, so you can't really move around that.
Okay. Go ahead, Mitty.
I think that will be the key, right? Deciding what stadium is going to be hosting. Because I like the guideline from the governor. They have to be safe. So a quarter of the capacity of the stadium is what they're going for. So you need to figure out, what stadium is it going to be? How many people do we think they can draw? If it's Dallas Cowboys, for sure, Canelo can draw I don't know, 20,000 people. We've seen him doing it, so I think he can do that. I don't know if Errol Spence can do that, so it's gonna have to be a smaller venue. And if we're talking about I don't know, a 15,000 capacity, we're talking about what, 3,500 people in attendance. That's doable also. That's a decent show. But I'm with you, Ness. The economics will dictate that the price of the tickets will be expensive because in pandemics, it's now a luxury commodity to be able to just go out there and enjoy a show, right? So only the rich people will be able to go there, but not just the rich people, only the people that can also travel to get there. So from a selfish point of view, a guy like me that likes to take my flights and attend those big fights in the US, I definitely won't be one of them because I won't be able to travel. But no, I like the idea, and hopefully they can get that going, man.
Well, here's the good thing about that. It seems like the ban on flight is going to be lifted here in the U.S. Maybe by next month, but by July for sure, I think. That said, the Star is a 12,000 seat arena. However, Cowboy Stadium is a retractable roof. Does that count as an outdoor stadium? It does in my book. So I think that 25,000, that's a good number. I think honestly, am I crazy to think that Errol Spence and Danny Garcia could do that? Like I think they could.
I think that they could if it was normal times, but I do want to say that I did get a lot of help with this idea from my secret co-producer, who we trying to get on the show, but he's just playing wingman for now. He sent me that information about the governor yesterday, and yeah, I mean, I just think that is huge. That's huge. I don't know any other state. Now we got to think of the opposite side though, right? Because I can't just be totally optimistic. Will a stadium like Cowboys allow 25,000 people in there and take the risk of possible lawsuits with the spread of infection? Are people, U.S. citizens or tourists, allowed to go to this stadium and then turn around and get a lawyer like, oh, I caught the coronavirus while I was in the Cowboys Stadium. They weren't up to code. They didn't protect me, make sure that the virus wasn't spread. I mean, is that possible?
I mean, I think that anybody buying tickets is going to be, I don't know if there's any waivers being signed or any cautions being set to before purchasing the tickets. But I mean, anybody that knows what's going on knows that it's a risk anywhere you go, supermarket, anywhere, just anywhere you go. The thing I like about the big stadiums is that you're going to be able to have that separation, that capability to be the space to be able to spread people apart. Because, Cowboys not the only one. You got AT&T Stadium, you got Eagle Stadium, you got so many stadiums. I mean, it's full of stadiums in Texas.
Lion,
Reliant.
So
you have to be careful though, and you have to think about those protocols. I'm agreeing with Ness, right? You have to think of those things, because even in normal walks of life, right, when they're allowing you to go back to work, they put like a duty on the employer to ensure that they have like a safe working environment. So I'm sure it's going to be like the same thing with stadiums, right? So you need to do everything in terms of protocols to ensure that the people in attendance are safe. Like, they can't just say that, oh, you bought the ticket, you knew what you were getting into. I'm pretty sure that there'll be strict protocols around this. So we need to look at the details, I think.
The protocols.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the protocols are going to be in play. What I meant to say by that is that at the end of the day, whether protocols are placed or not, which I know they will, you are responsible for your own decisions. So it's like, you can't go there and they placed all the protocols in play, and then you knew the risks you were taking when you go to these places, and then you come back out and then you want to go to a lawyer because you want to sue somebody. I think that's not going to be something that's going to be easily done. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's
fair point.
Yeah,
well,
unless protocols aren't put into play appropriately.
Here's my own answer or solution to that problem. Automatic purchase of tickets is your signature waiver. I'm sorry. We have to put waivers on every purchase of tickets. The minute you click to buy or you purchase, you have waived your right to seek counsel and or sue us if you can track the coronavirus. I'm sorry. We're dealing with a pandemic and we're trying the best that we can.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like one of those things, like you said, it goes back to us making that decision. But real quick, Doomy said it best. These stadiums that we're talking about, they have the capacity to have the space and still pack the crowd. So go ahead, Doomy. Sorry.
Damn, I'm so terrible at that.
With 100-seater, like a Cowboy Stadium, right? Imagine socially distancing 25,000. That thing, give everybody 3 chairs apart, like I said before in other shows, and take all the necessary precautions. Follow Nicaragua times 10. because they got it right. Let's be real.
Yo, and they bring in those stadiums too. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, real quick. One thing that we're not talking about is that we're very hopeful that once people can go to these stadiums, that our thought is they're gonna come running, you know. But like, we're not really talking about how scary people are, you know. Still, how confident are we that people are gonna show up and are gonna want to participate in this stuff? Do we take polls?
I'm confident.
Do we do certain things before we go ahead and make this happen?
I'm confident with my own polling. Like, you and I live in the same area. We're 12 minutes apart. Like, when they took the ban off the park, how'd it look to you? It was insane. My girl got anxiety. We didn't expect it to be as packed. So please kill the noise with that. The minute the bans are up, we're gonna be back to we already back to business.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We're gonna be back to business, but I don't know if you experienced that. But in the UK, I would go into the streets and I'll come across some people that are out there also in the streets, but the behavior is slightly different. So imagine in a stadium of 25,000 people and keeping people in check and ensuring that there's no crowd issue because someone got too close to you, or some people, you see how people look at you in the street when they get close to them.
You're right.
So stuff like that is going to be different because our relationship with people is going to be different for at least another year or so. Someone come next to you, you just start looking at
honestly,
him like,
Mitty, I'm not with you. Let me tell you, when I read this, I swear to you, I said, damn. Freaking hell, there's a bee in my office. Holy shit.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, man.
When I seen this, I said, damn, bro, if they doing that, what's 25% of the gym in Texas? We could do border wars again. I swear. I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get back into shape. Yeah. Like, I'm fat eating ice cream in bed. Like, I need border wars in my life.
Bro, I got Cherry Garcia in the fridge, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, and there would be plenty of spots like Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. It would be, there would be plenty of places.
Myra, you ain't give Doomy a chance to say no pun intended. We all talking about Earl versus Danny in Texas.
Oh, damn. That was a bar I think he spit.
And Doomy still ain't get it. He's computing. Doomy got a Tandy 1000. His process is like processing. Yo,
I think about so much.
I know.
My man is wilding over there. Yo,
but the cards would they could work. I think like we keep talking about what kind of fights we get based on the fact that we can't do the numbers, we can't do the money, but this is a situation where the boxes are checked off. It's enough room for separation. It's enough people to make it financially viable, and it's a good enough fight to bring people out of quarantine because I'm there. And let me tell you, I was one of the most stringent people that didn't want to go, and now I'm like, let's do it.
And check this out, for the promoter, there's really no risk, right? Like, as long as you got the waiver on the ticket, it's Jerry Jones or whoever that is paying the site fee. The broadcaster's giving you the broadcaster fee, and now you got an opportunity to sell tickets. Like, why would you say no?
And you know why Cowboys is even better? Because, look, football is planning to have people in stadium, okay? Football is planning to have, I should say American football because, we got Coach with us today. American football is planning to have fans in attendance. This would be a perfect opportunity for Jerry to kind of like dip his toe in the water, you know what I mean? In June, July, even August or whatever. August is like close to the start of the season.
Honestly, I'm thinking.
Return,
so
that's a good point.
I'm thinking. You did raise your hand. Sorry about that.
No, that's a good point. Like, and I'm gonna be very quick, because I can see it already. Like, so football or soccer on our side in Germany, they're already playing, and I watch it on TV, right? And there are a few people in attendance, like not crazy people. It's not the general crowds, but it's people that are involved in the running of the clubs. They are in attendance, and you can see them being separated. So there's one dude sitting there, and then 3 or 4 seats next to him, there's another guy there. So we kind of seen how the mechanics of it is working for soccer or football on our side. So maybe that's an example to follow. In the next month or so, we'll have even more experience. Once they start introducing small crowds, there'll be even more experience, and we can start following the blueprints from those guys who've started earlier, right? So
yeah,
maybe,
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the blueprint. My man's over there trying to kill that bee.
Nah.
Oh, no, I'm reading because George Foster, all these people that think they know, either my grammar is wrong and Mario is our freaking Nobel Peace Prize winner. It clearly says a major opportunity to host pay-per-view showdowns in Texas. I don't have to also put apostrophe S on the show. What is George Foster talking about? He's like, oh, it only says show, meaning one show, not pay-per-views. So I misinterpreted it. It's like,
well, it's because showdowns is one word.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hyphenated, I think.
Is it hyphenated?
Probably no, it's not. It is one word.
Yeah, I think it's just one word.
Let's see.
So
that's
the
funny.
only problem.
Yeah,
I didn't get an error on that. You guys might be wrong. Let's double check.
No, it's because you could showdown and showdown it could be
a compound word.
Yeah, it's a compound. So it's like you could showdown could be separated if the sentence is like showdown like. I mean, I can't think of a sentence right now for some reason, but like, you know what I mean? Like the show went down type of thing, as opposed to a showdown between two people.
You could write showdown together. You could write showdown hyphenated. So, either or.
They get it when they listen to us. They understand now.
Come on, man.
You know what it is?
I just put it together. It looks ugly together. What up?
It's like me, bro. I saw the picture of Canelo next to Earl, and I just blurted it past it. I'm like, oh shit!
No, that's
Earl,
why.
Canelo.
That's why.
Oh,
yeah, that's exactly what I
got
did
excited.
Too.
That's why. That's why YouTube tells you, rich thumbnails.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, but I honestly, look, guys, I would love it. But remember, I'm one of the main guys kicking that they'll actually make 100,000 tickets sold. But it's not the time. This is the time to test that marketability and the value. What could we get for those tickets? Go ahead, do your thing. So I wanted to get to that point. When do you think Earl and Danny go? Now that they get this information, right? Because PBC themselves have started to say, what, June and July? Or I think July is their first start, right?
July is, I think it's early. First weekend of July, I think, is their target date.
All right, so you guys watch other sports. Other than September, which Canelo would obviously try and take, when could Earl get in there with Danny in the later half of this year?
Bro, really, like as soon as that, I think Texas is open, which is going to be next.
No,
next
but
month.
you don't think he needs to surround himself around something like?
My bad. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, I would say probably like August would be a reasonable time frame. I think
and
August,
what happens
September.
in August in Texas or in sports? What's going on there? Because
football
obviously
does
Canelo
start.
is still taking Mexican. He's already got a party day. So like. We need to give Earl a day like that. They can, like 4th of July would have been perfect for Earl.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like a Mexico Independence type of day. Well, listen, Cowboys, the way that the schedule works is they have away and home games, right? But they play on Sundays. So there would be any month they would have the ability to do this. But then again, remember too, like there are plenty of stadiums like you were saying earlier and like Doomy was saying earlier. So it's like, if Dallas didn't work, there are still other places where 25% of capacity is still money.
No, it's got to be Dallas because Dallas is saying this. No one else has come out and given this. I mean,
yeah, but Texas is allowing it. Greg Abbott's allowing all of Texas to have sports.
Yeah. Oh shit. I totally misinterpreted what when you said Dallas. I made it seem like it was just on. I meant to say Texas is the only spot that's saying this.
Texas.
So which
so
is the
Houston,
whole state.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Their spots and they could
side
do it
note,
like viably.
No, but why are you trying to just like make it go around like another event? Because like the thing with like this COVID situation, it's just changing the whole thought around people's calendar and all that. You don't have to just like.
No, I know that there's
other stuff anymore,
I know that
right?
there's desperation and there's gonna be many of us that'll come out just because we can.
Exactly.
But Canelo still has that advantage that not only is he gonna he'll be in September when this has already gotten 4 months of trial. He'll also have a holiday. So I just want Earl to have equal opportunity.
I think that's the smart thing to do. The smart thing to do is not to jump on it like straight away. I think you just like need to get people comfortable with the idea. Let like other people do it first for 2-3 months. It also gives you the opportunity as an athlete. I don't know what the situation is with Earl right now, but he probably needs like a few weeks of camp, right? So, just look towards like September, October, like maybe not September because Canelo is going to take that for sure. But just look towards October, November.
But you also got to
think. More time, right?
You also got to think. It gets a little difficult, and that's why you're looking for like an Independence Day, which is obviously off the table. It's too rushed. I understand that, but it is a pandemic. Yes, we spoke about this conversation about the rich possibly being the bulk of the people, but if you're PBC and Al, you're like, damn, do we go before Canelo or after? Do we go for an audience that's already tapped out because the little bit of money that they held on, they used it on Canelo? Or do we try and sneak in like Floyd did to Canelo, come in August and be the first to have everyone's little bit of money they saved up or little bit of money they allotted for entertainment during this pandemic?
Well, I think that I think there's no problem going after Canelo because the situation's just going to get, I'm not going to say better, but it's just going to get like more, we're going to get more understanding as we go. Just like Mitty was saying, Coach said, like, let other people go first. Well, we are already going to have people go first with no fans. So there's the start. Right? We get the ball rolling like that. If Canelo goes, is there a chance that people spend their money and then they're not going to want to really spend their money on Earl? Yeah, I think there will definitely be some of that for sure. But the people that can already afford to go in the first place, that might not even be an issue for them. So when you're in a situation now where it's like, okay, maybe there were some restrictions on Canelo, right? Where it's like you had to have 4 seats. Well, now by the time we get to October, November, well, maybe you only got to have 2 seats or like, and that's probably a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. The restrictions get less. Maybe you got to wear a mask to Canelo, but now you don't got to wear a mask to Earl. So there are things that are going to get better that are going to be the driving force behind those promotions.
These big shows that we're talking about, to me, to me, it would be better to keep doing the smaller shows. And I don't mean to say that to use the smaller shows as guinea pigs, but that's what basically it's going to be, right?
That's what it is.
And you take a look at what's going on, you take a look at the information, the data that's coming back, and then you go ahead and you move accordingly. Look, they already shut down in a couple of places July 4th stuff that's supposed to happen. We're in June, we're not even in July, and they're already shutting certain things down. So it's a matter of steady she goes, man. And you got to be able to put other fights out there that are as appealing, not as appealing because, Canelo versus Danny is super, super big, but like fights that are still appealing, but that can get people to come out, get them interested.
Oh, whoa. What Canelo Danny? Danny who?
Danny Jacobs.
Again?
I mean, Danny Garcia, the WBC, right? Who's the mandatory that you were just saying?
Doomy is in space mode. He's a space cadet. So Canelo, who's 168, is gonna fight Danny Garcia.
Yeah, no, you mentioned him as the WBC. I keep going back.
Yeah, but he's the mandatory for Earl.
For Earl. Yeah. I mixed that up. Sorry.
Yo, Doomy.
Yo, this whole topic, I was wrong from the beginning, man. I wasn't ready for it. But.
Even his introduction, he was like, "Yo, I'm excited for Earl versus Canelo." I'm like,
yeah.
Yo, Super Mex just reminded me that Texas Rangers, the baseball team, which is right across the street from Cowboy Stadium, if y'all remember, they got a brand new stadium outdoors, and it's going to hold almost as much as Cowboy Stadium. Like, that's a spot right there. So if Canelo were to go and do something and then they were to secure the Rangers, like, yo, that's a big deal to have an event at the Ranger Stadium, especially because we don't even know what baseball is going to look like. They might be the first event there. It's a huge
but
thing.
the only baseball, or rather, should I say, the last baseball field I seen used was in L.A. Have the Rangers ever expressed interest in boxing the way that Jerry Jones does?
But listen, they haven't, but they're going to, because they need to pay for that stadium.
All right, and I just want you to remind you that we need that site fee. As promoter, they're expecting a site fee.
Yeah, they'll get it, I promise. Because Houston, remember Canelo did James Kirkland at the Astros Minute Maid ballpark, and that was at the Astros playing field. And so I think the Rangers would be interested. I think the owners would definitely be interested in hosting an event like that and really kick it off. And if y'all remember, it's like a triple thing where it's like Cowboy Stadium, and then there's Ranger Stadium, and then there's that big dance hall thing. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe Supermax can help me out with that. But it's a spot.
Why when you say dance hall, all I think is the music.
That's
ready?
What I thought.
You ready?
That's what it is.
You ready?
It's like a live club. It's like 2 stories. They got it's real. It's popping over there. It's real cool.
Where did Canelo fight Liam Smith? What stadium was that? That was in Texas, right?
Yes, Texas.
Which one?
That was.
Was it a Cowboys stadium?
Bro, we had Roberto Diaz on, the matchmaker. Bro, he said that they sold 55,000. I didn't know they sold that many tickets. Lord have mercy.
I remember there was a big crowd, but also I think the conversation was that it was cheap tickets.
Yeah, $10 tickets. I remember.
$10.
Yeah.
But still, man, $10. 55,000 people in attendance. That's good, man.
Yeah, man.
Yo, my man, Texas Live. That's what it's called. If y'all Google Texas Live, that's thank you, Supermax. He just helped me out with that. Yo, it's this huge spot. It's man, it would be a party. It would be a party.
Texas Live. What is it, like a Burning Man type of location?
Yeah, it's like live music. It's it's popping. It's like a big club, but it's like live music. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's not like multi-event type of thing. It's mainly music type of thing.
Yeah, it's mainly music, but they got restaurants. They have mall, shopping spots. It's like a big mall that is like a club essentially, and people would just walk around. Imagine a mall, right? But it's like a big club. People walking around with drinks and going from one spot, and there's live music downstairs, upstairs. There's little bars in this building.
Multi-venue complex or something like that. Yeah, that's good.
Jose in the chat says that Canelo versus Smith was in the AT&T Stadium.
Which Jose? Canadian Jose?
Nah, De Leon. De Leon. He's a lion. He's Lion Zoni. De Leon.
So we talked about the stadiums and all this. I think at the beginning, Mario, you were asking so who we talking about as an opponent then for either of these guys, right? So
yes, right, because we never said anything.
Billy Joe.
Yeah,
I'm assuming Billy Joe.
I think,
but wait, it can't be Billy Joe.
Oh, that's right, because
they can't plan for when the travel ban is up, so it's got to be someone here. Gabriel Rosado. Gabriel Rosado, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. The people's champ. The people's champ gets his shot. Yes.
I think that the U.S. I don't know if it was just talk, right? But they were making provisions for athletes or professional athletes and their family to travel if needed, right? So it's reopened for business, and some people will be able to come. So Billy Joe Saunders definitely will meet that criteria, right? Where you can come with your family and then just do what you have to do, right?
That's how they plan on getting Lomachenko out here,
Yeah, they have to,
what they do. They can circumvent that. They can go to one of the other countries where the travel ban isn't in play, and then travel from there, get into the country.
Yeah, but that's expensive. That's what listen, these promoters talk about every dollar. And the entourage of a fighter and the flights and accommodation, that becomes expensive. Look, Mitty, your company pays for you to travel everywhere. How expensive is it? Can you have obviously because your budget
expensive.
It is?
No, it is really expensive. A flight on its own, when you're talking about international flights and you want to fly in decent condition, business class and all that, that's around $4,000 just for the flights only, right? So Yeah, so that's not cheap. Then you have to put people in hotels and stuff like that. Altogether, like 1 week, 2 week trips is easily in the 10,000s, right? It's for one person.
So Robbie is saying that we should assume Vegas would follow suit. I mean, I think it is obvious they've already opened up their casinos, and I'm assuming the hotels are also going to be back because most casinos are hotels. So yeah, I mean, I expect them, I guess, to do it as well.
Now this is the opportunity. We don't have no exact dates for when this opportunity is going to open, right? It's just something that might happen in September. Is that what that is, or is it something that could happen sooner?
Well, no. This is already in play, right? The Texas Governor Greg Abbott is already issued a revised order. So sports and sports league, professional sports league, will be allowed to resume play in June. But outdoor stadiums will be allowed to host fans up to 25% of their capacity.
So this month coming up.
Yeah, no, yeah. June, it's over. We ready to start in 2 days. But what I'm obviously projecting Canelo for
September.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who do we get in? We got a lot of Texas boxers right now, right? We got some good guys out there that'll bring the crowd out, at least 25% of the crowd. Besides Earl, we got Jamel, right? Jamel or Jamal. We got.
Oh, you mean to co-main event?
Co-main event or undercard, or if not, just these new shows starting now in June.
Absolutely, they could fill it up. Listen, Charlo, you could put all three Charlos. I mean, both Charlos and Earl on the same card.
Mario Barrios is from Texas, right?
He's from San Antonio. The issue becomes money. Can you afford to put Earl, Jamel, and Jamal? You're talking about three champions.
No. Let's get the guys that that are coming up, man. Hooker.
Maurice Hooker, yeah.
Hooker is already contracted to fight Regis on Dazn, so that's a whole nother story. But you can do I don't know.
Casey Ramos.
If you're thinking Earl, we're gonna build. What fight are we building first? We got to take it a step at a time.
Well, this is what we're doing. We're trying to put a show together.
Yes, but
who's
back show for June. First, my friend?
That's what I'm saying. We're not gonna pick Earl as the main card. We're trying to create a show to jump into the schedule in June. So who's the main card for a show in June?
That's not Earl.
Yeah, because
you want to come back right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but PBC isn't. They coming back in July.
Who's coming back in July?
PBC.
All right, so who's coming back in June?
Now, can they change things after hearing this news that broke a day ago? Maybe they can change things.
Yeah, but let's remember that the rumor right now that basically everybody's reporting is that the 3 fights PBC has planned are Gervonta Leo, Danny Earl, and that was it. There was another one I'm missing, but I was thinking of Chocolatito Estrada. But those are the 2 fights they're doing, you know what I mean? So I get where you're coming from, though. Like, it's like, who's that icebreaker, right? But I mean, at the same time, like, if they got Top Rank putting together 4 shows before they even do one, I mean, that's kind of the icebreaker in a sense, a little bit.
I mean, look, I didn't, that's like a sub topic to do a icebreaker card. I say we build the Earl and Danny, pick a day and an undercard, and then build the Canelo, whoever, pick the day and build the undercard, because those are 2 separate entities. You know what I'm saying?
True. And that's the case. Then, they've got to go in August. Then, so I think that's the soonest or the earliest you can do it. Like August. June is gonna come. Obviously, nothing is gonna happen in June. You want to give them a little bit of time to get ready and to think about how to make things happen. And then end of July or very early August is when you can start doing that card, and that's what I would go for, because like obviously there will be like a few icebreakers that we don't want to think or who it's gonna be in that icebreakers, but they'll be able to learn from experience from those guys. Then in August, just go with the Danny versus Errol Spence there.
That makes sense.
That's what I'm thinking.
So Danny versus Errol Spence in Texas. Who do we put on the undercard to make sure we can capitalize on the 25% capacity?
Throw in Mario Barrios in there.
Oh, that's definitely Mario Barrios.
Cool.
He's PBC.
The problem,
right?
The only problem with Barrios is he's got a mandatory rematch, right? With that dude that he had a very tough fight with.
He did have a tough fight.
So are they gonna want to do that on this card? I don't know, but that's just something we have to say. But that being said, I think that's a great addition.
Has Barrios headlined his own card?
Yeah.
I think the last one was the headline. Maybe
that was a headliner, right?
No. Double check. I'm not sure. I'm on.
I could have sworn it was.
It might have been. Let me see.
But so we're putting Barrios on the undercard. That doesn't mean he's co-main. People in the chat are saying, bro, you guys are bugging. The Charlos will fight on that card because they've already said that they're willing to fight with no fans. Fighters understand that this is a different time and that the pay grade is different. Do you believe that? And if so, I think the home run obviously is a dream fantasy card with Earl, Jamal, Jermell. Then you can put Barrios on the undercard and round it off.
Jermell versus Banana.
I don't think they do it.
Yeah, they can't afford to do Jermell versus
Banana. Texas event go by where they don't headline. Like, you got to treat yourself like a star. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're not that, in the Canelo running, even if you don't have that opponent that would sell like 25, you still got to treat yourself like that.
Not during this time. And Mario, we need to teach, these fighters that music doesn't do it that way. No one gets mad that they're not the last performance on fucking B. That they're not the last performance on Summer Jam or none of that great stuff. None of them great.
Yeah, but that's a bad example, because when you're talking about Summer Jam or South by Southwest or something like that, like, everybody has their own slot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's their own main event, and there are hours between events, between performers. You got to think about it more like, if you go to an Eminem concert, do you expect Eminem to be the first or second act? No, you don't. You expect opening acts, and Eminem is the headliner. So it's a different thing.
But do you put like the Charlos like that high as like guaranteed main event every time they fight or something? Like, so I don't know. I know that's what they want to be.
Yeah.
But I also believe that it really depends on their dance partner, like, for those guys, like, because they are good, they are towards the top, but they're not the top of the top, right?
No,
I don't
they're
think
not.
They're guaranteed headliners all the time. They're good co-main events or chief support.
They can be part of that. I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
When's the last time Jamal was on anybody's undercard, though? He's been a headliner for a couple years now, if I'm not mistaken.
Jamal?
Yeah.
Jamal.
I mean,
excuse me. Yeah, Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal.
What, going into this fight or
just like in general, like Jamal, because I agree with Mitty. I don't think that they are at that level, but I think that they would prefer to fight in smaller venues where they can guarantee the crowd, 3,000-4,000 people and headline, as opposed to fighting in front of 25,000 people, but being the co-main event.
But I understand like what you're saying, because you can clearly see like that's the type of characters they are, right? And you can tell. Obviously, they're talented fighters, they're good, but it's the whole like attitude that they bring to the table. It's like, I'm the main man up in here, right? So, and they can probably take offense of not being the main event, but in my mind, I don't put them guaranteed main event anytime or all the time they fight, right? So
Mario Barrios has not main evented a card. He was on the Sean Porter Earl Spence card in that last one. So he's a good name. Was that you, Doomy, who said him?
Yeah, Mario.
Yeah, that's a great name.
So he hasn't then.
No.
He hasn't main evented?
Nope.
Oh, sheesh.
And you know
That's
what?
a perfect name.
It's right where Jermell Charlo. I mean, what Mitty was saying with Jermell Charlo, like they're champs. For the most part, they're gonna want those main events, but they're not those guys where you can't see them under an undercard in like a Canelo undercard or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think that would be any disrespect towards them either. You know, it's a big card. It's a huge card. So, and they've been on there saying that they'll fight in crowdless. So they're with it. They're with it.
Yeah.
I guess them boys just worrying about their check. As long as my check right. You know,
Well, you can't be worried about the check during this time. Like, that's what Bob Arum made clear to his squad. Like,
but you can be worried about it. You can be worried about it in the sense that, okay, am I going to take co-main event money or main event money? Now that money has changed, but the separation between those two things has not. You know what I'm saying?
What? No, bro, it's a different time, man. Even Eddie came out and said it, and it's funny that Eddie came out and said it like days before Dazn's Financial Times article. But even Eddie said, like, yo, we can't pay people the way we used to during this pandemic. It ain't the same.
No. But that's my point. Is like, okay, so like, first of all, I think we're all wrong here in the sense of like thinking about a pay-per-view with 4 fights like normal. Look, they're having a 5-fight card. The least amount of the less fights you have, that means the less amount of time that people are all bunched in together. Like, I think that we're going to be experiencing smaller fight cards that are shorter.
No way, bro. No way.
I think so.
During this time, listen, a guy like Al got a plus 200 fighters, bro, and we've seen Al already do 12 fight cards. Everybody ain't gonna make it to TV, but they gonna get their fight. Listen, Mario, remember this, okay? It's not just boxing talk. Like, I got a contract with you. I got to supply you your fights. If not, you got the opportunity to break contract or go somewhere else. So if I wrote you out 3 fights, I got to get you on. Why you think you see 12 fight cards?
I don't know if that's at the same time.
Mario's logic is like a good logic in terms of pandemic, right? But I also get the point that, you know, those fights needs to happen because you have to generate fight for those guys. They will be on TV for sure, though. You know, I don't know how long the card will be, if it's a 5-hour card or whatever. We're used to that in the UK, right?
Exactly.
No, the cards that you have, generally speaking, in the UK are long cards. It starts at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon where no one sees that. But the TV coverage starts at maybe like 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. So we're used to that. But now the advantage that we have, we're all sitting at home. We're all desperate for content. Like, we won't be in a venue. I want to see the 4 p.m. guys, and I want to see, like, you know, be able to discover those guys. So maybe the cards will be long. That's fine. But yeah,
is there a problem with that though? I don't think. I mean,
no,
look,
there's no problem.
We've been missing out on a lot. I think I want to see boxing on the screen all day.
Is it more risk though? Is the question?
It is more risk. That's what you're saying, Mario.
Because you're together too longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what he's saying. So in the context of pandemic. In the venue, yeah, you probably don't want to have like people hanging around for 5 hours together. You want to just 2 hours in and out, just watch your 3 fights and then go home, right?
Typically, how many fights are in a card that's not that long?
Dude, deal with me. I was about to say that. I covered a PBC fight one time that started at 5 o'clock, or the first card was at 5:30. Yo, we were there at 1 a.m. with swing bouts. 1 a.m. with swing bouts.
That's standard for us. Like that's what we usually see. Like, so most of the shows, like the big show, whether it's like Queensbury Promotion or Matchroom, it's a long show. It's like 4 p.m. First bell goes. You have people fighting with like 10, 20 people in attendance. Journalists on,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, listen, in this day and age, Dazn has unlimited bandwidth, and so does ESPN. So as far as you not getting to see the undercards, I think you will. I think you totally will. I mean,
that's a good opportunity to see.
Especially with Top Rank. Top Rank is probably the only ones that have the cameras rolling when there's no one in the stadium. And it's just like the 2 guys just fighting, man.
Bro, I've never understood why they don't have cameras rolling, or some people don't have cameras rolling from beginning to end. Like, how do you not have that? Like, you never know what's going to happen in a fight. You want to miss out on potentially one of the
they
greatest knockouts. You know what I mean?
They do. They've got camera rolling, like, you know, they've got press and all that. It's just like it's not being broadcasted anyway. I think it's only recent that like Matchroom is just putting that on YouTube and stuff like that, right?
Probably just recorded, Coach. You know, for highlight purposes. You know,
it is. It is so that, you know, if there is something sensational that happens and there's a break in the action somehow, somewhere, they can pull it on a main card and say, hey, here's what happened earlier today. Look at that, you know, nice knockouts or whatever. That happens from time to time. But, yeah. But, you know, I mean, it's a good opportunity for us to see everything, right? So for us staying at home, just show it us.
So we ended it with a super fight for Canelo. I mean, excuse me, for Earl versus Danny, and then all the Charlos on the undercard. We're running with that.
Charlo, Barrios.
Yep.
Yeah,
right,
Barrios to me is that's
you can make it a whole Texas card if you wanted to.
That would be dope.
You guys got a lot of boxing talent in Texas.
So we got to transition to Dazn. So we're gonna go with Canelo versus who? Travel ban included, so, you know, we got to, because, listen, we're planning. We got to plan. We got to do press conferences, even if they're virtual. We got to do promotion. So can we really wait for Billy Joe's
travel ban?
Yeah, for his restrictions to be lifted and find out? I don't know if we can, but we can also give a Billy, and if Billy can't make it, who? But I don't think
it's got to be Golovkin.
I don't think Billy should be the main anyway. Like, why are we even saying Billy's a shoo-in?
Well, because he was already, you know,
that's
contracted. That's what we
allegedly,
had.
but we never heard Reynoso say that, and he talked to us, and we didn't see Robert Diaz say that, and he talked to us, and the only one saying that was Eddie, who promotes Billy.
I would say that
we're
it
pretty
was
close. Like,
I think that most people were reporting that it was Billy Joe. I would be willing to put my money on him.
I got a super chat from DBX. I believe he's in the UK, who says Ness got B problems. Smoke it out. That's what I've been doing. And look, for all you guys that think I'm losing the battle to this beat, I turned on the ceiling fan. You know, I got the ceiling fan on, and I don't have a little rinky-dink ceiling fan. This thing has 4 speeds, and just 3 put the B back to sleep. He's behind the curtain somewhere.
Hanger ceiling fans.
Then I'm smoking him out with some OG Kush show. It's a wrap for him.
He chilling.
Y'all gonna be chilling next to each other.
He got the breeze on.
And no, speaking of breeze, I brought the Febreze as my last defense. If he comes too close, I'm on him.
Yo, if y'all are listening on podcast, man Ness just showed this big old bottle of Febreze.
Yo, I'm going to get him. He ain't going to be able to mess with them toxins in the Febreze. We going to make him smell real right on his last flight.
It was either the Febreze or the Pledge.
They said I'm looking nervous. See, that's why you get robbed, bro. I'm looking nervous. No. I'm on point, homie. I'm making sure he don't fly, swoop down on me. Mad Bent with the super chat that says TBV for life. Shout out to Mad Bent. Nah, I'm on point. This ain't paranoia. This is making sure, dog. Listen, I walk into a room and I surveil the entire room. I got to know everything that's going on in everybody's face. 90% of the time, I can tell you what people wore. Like,
it's funny because the other day, or not the other day, it was probably like a month ago. We were on a show and you casually mentioned, you were like, "Yo, that's why I'm not like these other fools that get robbed so much, man. I only been robbed." And you said like 3 or 4 times or something. I was like, "Damn, that's a lot." Like,
nah.
Texas.
Yo,
first of all, I don't think I ever got robbed 3 times. I definitely got robbed twice.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay.
But I'm in the inner city, remember?
Yeah, that's
what
I'm saying. Exactly. That's why
I was 19 with my own apartment, so they got me. I'm going into my own. I was just always flat. I had the RX-7 with like 19s on it. Jumped out with the back in the day gold Cuban link. No, the Cuban link. No, it was I was 19. It was 1999 and shit. It's like, I didn't even make it past the doorway. It was on me. Like, man, give me all that shit.
Let me get that.
I'm like, damn, bro, the ring too? Everything. I'm like,
my sign and stuff.
You gonna have to pop this chain. Go ahead and pop it. Yeah, tough guy. And he still popped that motherfucker. I was sadder in the mud. Twice. But those things they teach you, you know. And when you listen, inner city is just so many people. It's hard, man. That's why I don't even like New York. It's like New York is like that scene out of Neo, remember? With the lady in the red dress? Is that
yeah.
Is that many people? That's real, bro. Like Manhattan is real. That is real. Like all those people. It's like, I'm not with all that. Real quick, we got a super chat from Real Naja chick that says, my money is on the B with 3 laughing out loud emojis. I'm telling you, look, I wish I don't want to really.
Hey, he heard you say that you weren't in fighting shape. He's like, that man needs a training camp. I got him.
He heard you called yourself Young Ali.
He can't. Listen, I'm telling you, with the speed of this, he can't. Like, he's got to stay low, which he's not going to want to do because now he's open for danger. So he's behind the curtain right now. I got yellow curtains. That's probably what attracted him.
Don't let
bright yellow curtains.
Don't let us catch this bee. Don't let us catch this bee land on your shoulder and it's like this little honeybee or something. It better be like a hornet or something in there.
I'm gonna try. If I ain't, man, no. Listen, I would try and focus. Oh, I see him. No, I see him. I see him.
Use the head movement.
No. I see him, and let me tell you. It is chunky. Babe, look. It's right there. It can't fly, so it's right. I got LEDs, and it's right at the LED. You see it? Under the little diffuser. You see it? He hiding because of the speed. He can't live out here, homie.
Oh, just grab it and put it outside.
It's like a plane.
You gotta have cats.
It's like a plane propeller, yo. This like a plane propeller. When I was building this studio, I bought this ceiling fan is like $294, like 5, 6. Oof. I don't know how long I've been in this house now, but however many years I've been, that's how many years ago. This thing is like a plane propeller. That dude does not want it. I'm telling you.
No. That fan is. That fan got some long ass propeller blades.
That's why you gotta have a cat, bro.
I regret not buying this same one for my bedroom because my bedroom is just like me and my girl. We just like look at it and discuss because it doesn't do the job. You know what I mean? But this one got him hiding. I see you. What's that movie too? I'm so old. I remember that movie. I know it. Predator had a guy that talked like that. When he seen the Predator, it's like, I see you. You know, remember? But I ain't talking about that scene, but I see you, motherfucker. I see you. He's dead. Now he's dead. I know where he's hiding. Over. Naja, you lost your money. Ha! He's right there. I can see him clearly.
Yo, open the window. That thing will leave.
I can see clearly now the tail of
Yo,
him.
you can't kill a honeybee. You get charged, bro.
Bro, for me to open the window, I gotta open the screen too. I think he's squeezed in by the air conditioner. I've been using it these last days.
But lucky for you, the rumors about those killer bees that were supposedly in Jersey was a false rumor.
Bro, fake news. We got grasshoppers over here. I'm not worried about bees. They better be worried about grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers look like they got armor on. Big as hell, I swear.
Yeah.
Yo, right. Canelo card. All right, we're gonna go with not Billy Golovkin. I don't want Billy.
It's gotta be Golovkin.
No way.
It has to.
Golovkin already said no.
Reynoso told us.
How about Danny Jacobs?
No way.
I like the Jacobs fight. No, you don't like it.
Listen,
I like it.
Listen, you can't give Jacobs another Canelo fight off the back of a Chavez win. Chill, y'all. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Why not? That's common opponents.
Yeah,
man.
Not just
it
that,
won't be fair. He lost to Canelo, then fought Chavez. Like that doesn't. Or am I missing a fight? Did he fight somebody else in between?
Derevchenko.
I don't know about that.
Guess who?
Who lost to Canelo?
Jacobs already did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So you're saying?
No, he's saying did he fight
Triple G?
He's saying who did he fight after?
You guys don't get it. Yeah, you guys don't get it. Let me pull it up.
Derevchenko,
but we gotta listen.
Right?
We gotta come up with a better name than that.
Oh no, he went from Canelo straight into Chavez. You're right.
See, and it won't be right. But I know nobody gonna like this name. But financially, it's gonna make sense for them, and it's got the rivalry.
I don't even know who it is. Who is it?
Gabe Rosado.
Cheap.
Listen. Cheap for the network. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Sellable fight for Canelo. If he could do 50,000 at $10 tickets with Liam Smith, believe me, he could do good numbers with the already built-in rivalry of Mexico versus Puerto Rico.
Yo, I love me some Gabe Rosado. I do.
Yeah, I do.
He's a
And
friend
he's
of the
DAZN.
show.
He's also
But come
DAZN.
on, bro. Listen, the chat's about to
Cool.
let you know
Let them
that
have
they don't
it.
want no Rosado.
Well, I see one that says, "Yup, facts." I see one that says,
No.
I see it right there. I see it right there. I see it right there. But look,
chat. Come on, chat.
all right.
Y'all
Look,
better
it's
than
not.
that.
It's not me versus y'all. It's more about who else. Then let's go. It's got to be DAZN though.
DAZN and no travel. You said with travel ban, right? So no UK duels or anything, right?
Yo, what about Derevchenko though?
Yeah, right.
I know, but I'm just saying.
First of all, they won't do that because Andre already said
that's
that,
right,
that he'll take him. But Derevchenko also isn't DAZN. I'm not saying that he can't do business with him.
That's true.
And he's also here. He's also here. But he isn't.
That's what I'm saying. He's here.
He isn't necessarily DAZN. So we got to remember that again. In this time, do we want to pay more for outsource or do we want to do in-house?
Yo, the travel argument though, like I understand it, but I don't think we should factor that in because I'm pretty sure that those guys will be able to
by
travel.
September. Yeah, I agree. I think that Billy Joe is still a viable candidate because from everything that I've read and heard, that travel ban's coming down within the next, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, Gabriel Rosado's he is a friend of the show.
I haven't seen many. I only seen one dude. PC Jacob said Gabe with a question mark. No one's yet to even hate on Gabe.
No, I mean, you got other guys on.
Let him know,
side.
chat.
Come on, why would we? Why if we don't want Gabe? Why would we want Lemieux? And I'm just replying to the chat, Doomy. I'm sorry for Shinobi and you.
No, it's true though because I'm seeing the same thing. Gabriel Rosado has losses and all that stuff, but we got to just keep in mind what Canelo wants. You know what I'm saying? It's more what he wants, and he wants the big fights. He wants the fights that are going to challenge him and all that other stuff. I don't know where you guys look. Gabe, hell of a fighter, resilient, tough as nails. But where do you put him in putting up a good fight, versus Canelo?
Look, I'll give you my own.
If it was 4 years ago, I'd say for sure. But
listen, I'll give you my own counter argument. Maybe it doesn't mean subscriptions to DAZN, but we got to factor in budget. So, okay, Gabe is a bad idea. Move on. Who else?
Lemieux's a bad idea too. So I think
that's a bad. I think if Gabe is bad, Lemieux is bad.
And I haven't seen him out there in a while. I mean, the guys that make sense are the guys
I'm gonna throw names out there, regardless of country or whatever, and together.
Regardless of country, you go for Callum Smith. It's Billy Joe. Callum
no,
Smith.
What I was gonna say, regardless of country, is you eliminate them if they are on a travel ban, because I don't know where everyone is at. Like, where's Zach Parker at? I don't even know who he is. Where is he at?
Yeah,
where is Chudinov, who's ranked high in the WBC? Parker's number 2. Parker's number 2 in the WBO. Jacobs number 3.
We got the luster though, man. We want that luster,
And that's why I'm telling you, I'm throwing these names so you can see that, well, maybe Gabe ain't that bad. Because we're talking about 68, and this is where Canelo wants to fight. We had Reynoso on the show. They want to fight at 68. He's not going to fight Fielding again. He's not going to fight Anthony Durrell, who's on PBC. Is he going to fight Jacobs again? No. John Ryder, they did mention him on Canelo Team Story. They did.
That's the thing.
They did.
They could go for him, right? If it's
is
like
he over there or is he
fight,
here though?
No, he's in the UK, right?
Well, there you go.
He is in the UK, but if they go for a UK fighter, I doubt that is one of it's Smith or Billy Joe. I would like it to be Billy Joe or Callum Smith, but if they want a softer touch, then you go for John Ryder.
There you go.
Billy Joe works for me.
But John Ryder eliminates himself.
I know it's early. Yeah, I know it's early.
Too early. Listen, for DAZN, he's a franchise fighter, bro. They need him. They're not.
But
out
he
of
could
boxing.
lose.
Yeah,
he
but
could
he
lose
gonna
to Canelo
lose.
and still be like
That's
Floyd
what I'm saying.
Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Is he 168?
Yeah, but do you want to do?
Nah, but I think they could move him up. He's a big kid.
2 divisions in less than 1 fight. Come on, guys. Not realistic. Not realistic.
Right? Yeah, I guess you're right. But that's a big fight though. For Texas, they would do numbers.
Caleb Truax, but he's with PBC. I never heard of Stefan Hartel, and I'm just giving you ranked people. Lionel Thompson, but he's with
Craig Richards.
He's with Mayweather. Craig Richards. He's in the UK. He's in the UK.
Yeah,
and he's not ready.
Richards.
Yeah,
and
he's not ready.
He's not on Canelo level either.
Yeah, he's only like 11 fights in, I think. He's only.
Yeah, I like him.
Bro,
I like him. He's just
168 is horrible. It's only top heavy. It's just top heavy.
Yeah, it's very top heavy.
So yeah, I don't know what Canelo's. It's got to be Billy Joe. They're gonna have to sneak him in.
Willie Monroe is.
Willie was rumored to have that fight, but that was when Adrian was his manager.
I remember.
So there's no way he'll get that opportunity again right now.
Well, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
They're saying Bivol. He'll come in cheap, and he'll come to Canelo's weight.
At super middle, right?
Yep.
Yo, that's a big time fight.
At 168.
That's a big time fight.
He's been saying it. He's been. Then James Valdez, I know you're a Patreon, so I will answer you. Benavidez is with PBC. Too hard of a fight to make during a pandemic. To also pay expensive for your B-side, you can't do that. It doesn't make business sense. Benavidez.
Oh, Benavidez.
It's too much money.
We're trying to make it happen on the zone side.
It's too much money because now you're talking about a unification or a fake unification, right? Because Canelo's the WBA regular.
Honestly, the more I think about the fact that he keeps calling Plant and Benavidez, I think that fight ends up happening probably when Canelo's done with Golden Boy. I mean, I know that's a long time from now, but
this might be
on his way out. Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. This might be a blessing in disguise for Canelo, where these fights for him, you slide in a Rosado and a John Ryder because of the pandemic.
Everybody gives you a pass.
Because not only that, those are fights off your contract, man.
Yeah.
You taking those off. But let's open up these phone lines because we got our little rap show in about 30 minutes. So if you never checked that out, check us out in 30 right here on YouTube Live. Looks like Enrique will be taking on Greatness. And we're going to have some openers and some stuff like that, some freestyle, so stick around. But yeah, let me go out to these sponsors. And you know the number to call in is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1, one time, voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Any final thoughts, guys, before I go to the people?
I'll give my last little crumbs out here since I was fumbling the bread all morning. Canelo and Errol can have big showdowns there at Texas. Dance partners are important. We're trying to keep everything on one side to make it easier, but the travel ban is tricky, just like that bee that's trying to land on Ness's head. And what we have to try to do is try to get these fighters over here in a way where, it's not going to be looked upon as, anything violation or special treatment or whatnot. But in the end, the government, the state, the country, wherever the fighters need to go, I think they'll make those accommodations for these athletes, especially with the news that we're getting now. So, yeah, man, big showdown. Errol Garcia, Canelo, Charlo.
Yo, I think that final thoughts. I think that I would really like to see somebody who typically would not get a shot at Canelo, but specifically somebody that would deserve it. Like, the more I think about Gabe Rosado, no, it's not the fight that I want, but does a guy like Gabe deserve that fight? Yeah, he does. Peter Quillen type, like guys that have worked and done things, but are just not in that realm anymore. That don't have that ability to catch that fight. Could catch that. It's the Rocky story. It's the Rocky story. That's what we're in right now. We're in that Rocky story moment, and it's a cool thought.
Cool.
So we don't got an official fight.
The callers got to say.
So we didn't even, now that I think about it, we didn't even come up with an official fight for Canelo, let alone an undercard.
Yeah, I said Golovkin. I think Golovkin or Billy Joe. If Billy Joe, if we're not talking about travel ban, and Golovkin if we are. I know what Golovkin has said, but I think he changes his tune once he realizes, what's going on out here.
Who's on the undercard? Do they put Ryan on the undercard, push him back since he can't do July 4th anymore?
I think JoJo could fight his mandatory because he's got to fight his mandatory, and get that out the way because, he went. Look, the Mades fight and the Tevin Farmer fight could be their own, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think that he could fight Tevin on the undercard of that, and that would be huge. And that would set up the Modest fight, assuming that he wins, because Tevin's a live dog in that fight. That sets up the Modest fight big time, bro. I like JoJo on that undercard.
Yeah, JoJo's been wanting to fight.
Yo, bruh. Travel ban, fly him in this way, all that. Bro, they're going to choose Rosado. I'm telling you. Look at them names. Rosado gets it.
Can let me tell you something? I would, it's speaking about like who I would, if I would really want that for Gabe, I would want that for Gabe, man. I really would. And if I was Canelo, like, yo, I'm going to give that kid that shot.
Undercard, Maurice Hooker. Shout out to James Valdez. That's right. That was already signed.
That's a good one.
Let's just reschedule it on the Canelo undercard. More exposure.
It was Hooker and
Progress.
Yeah, that's a great fight.
Great fight.
Yeah, but that was supposed to headline though.
Yeah, bro. But come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, people got to know what battles to fight. Like, this is
getting where you fit in.
This ain't a battle to fight though. Like, you don't want the Canelo exposure. What the hell?
Yeah,
even
no,
Canelo,
right.
Even Canelo fought on Floyd undercards all the way up until what? The Shane Mosley fight where he decided to do split? Come on, bruh. Let's go out to these callers though.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right. Let's go to Big Nick in the UK. What up? Big Nick. What up?
Just listening this.
All right. Caesar Vegas.
Caesar.
Yo.
You
hear me?
We hear you.
How do I sound?
Like a champ.
Sorry. Apologize for the background noise, guys. But, yeah, I think the whole Earl and Canelo fight, something that we're looking forward to, but more in the future. Especially, during these times, there's no way that fight would ever happen, coming off of the accident. But what else? And the most likely opponent for Canelo's comeback. Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yes.
And you said Rosado?
Yes.
Is that a name that was brought up, or is that just your...
That's just my guess. My guess because of the pandemic and the lack of fighters that, obviously have travel bans. So, they got to pick from their own litter. Mexico versus Puerto Rico makes sense. Financially, he's cheaper. He's cheaper than everybody else. I mean, Billy Joe, they had to give him $8 million.
Right. Oh, that's true. I think Rosado would make for a great fight. For sure. What about Derevyanchenko? You guys don't think Derevyanchenko?
We did bring him up. But remember, technically, I think he's PBC, even though he's Keith Conley. Look, he could be in the mix. But if I was the zone, Derevyanchenko and Andre are willing to fight each other, that's the fight I make because it's hard to get Andre fights. But, Coach, you was trying to say something? I didn't hear you.
I'm just saying, like, you sound like you're Rosado's agent, man.
Rosado. Don't mess up the name, baby.
Rosado.
And that's King Gob to you, all right? King Gob to you. But let me tell you, is this that we went through the names, bro. Unless Canelo is going to go down in weight, which he's not because his trainer told us, and, his trainer's his manager. He's not going down. So that means no 160, not right now. Especially during the pandemic. So we're talking 168, and those names are very thin. You got 2 champions with PBC. Then, Jacobs is the big name outside of the division with no title. Billy Joe in the UK. I mean, who's left?
I think we're going to get a Jamal Charlo.
Callum also in the UK.
Callum in the UK, yep.
Might have to get Jamal to go up.
Bro, Jamal's with PBC. Are they
There's gotta
financially
be something they can do.
With the Financial Times article, there's no way in a position to be overpaying Jamal, who they offered $7 to $8 million to face Andre. What are they gonna offer him, Jamal, to come fight Canelo now on another network, bro? And why would PBC do that when they need fighters for their television? You think Fox doesn't want good fights too?
The thing is with those offers, man, they sound hella good, but like unless they're on paper, like I don't know what to do with them. You know, it's like we heard about it, but like we haven't gotten a chance to talk to Jamal,
man,
right?
An offer's an offer, bro. If they send you an offer in an email and you don't reply to the email, how do you expect to get to the contract stage if you're not replying?
They beefed a little bit. Maybe
it don't matter. Listen, the offer's real. Jamal said he got the offer. He turned it over to Al. That's what they do.
Oh, he turned it over to Al, so he didn't say no.
I mean, in his live, I remember us doing a show on it. You know, it was like that. Like, actually, he did an interview with Akin Barak, and he said it on that audio that, you know, they sent him something. Al told him, don't do something or something like that. Don't do nothing. Don't reply. Something like that. Like, he said that on Akin Barak. I know y'all heard it. Y'all just don't remember.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard for me to see Jamal
down
turning that much Skrilla, man.
But you are going to turn it down because you are my team. So why would you all of a sudden be disloyal to me just because someone's like Fox and Showtime need fights too. So they are going to like they not just listen. If Deontay didn't take the $120 million, this guy's not going over there for one fight, especially not during this time. We need inventory. Like, you got to think of it no different than YouTube. Fox and Showtime are content creators. They got an audience at home starving during a pandemic. Why the hell would they send Charlo somewhere? That's why I'm making fights in-house. Why do you think that Shakur ain't fighting Warrington and instead he's fighting Caballero,
Felix
Caraballo, you know what I mean? It's not like we gotta think in-house for the.
No wonder the fans be getting pissed off, man. It's so hard to make this happen.
But right now, it's understandable. Right now, it's understandable right now during this time. Why would promoters be in-house?
The more I thought about it, I don't like the fight, but at the same time, would I give Canelo a pass for it? I would, because this is that time right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shakur would rather be fighting somebody else right now. Teofimo and Lomachenko would rather be fighting themselves right now, but this isn't going to happen. So, but at the same time, if Earl ends up going against Danny very close to that Canelo date, that makes Canelo look bad.
Well, that's a mandatory, man.
Yeah, but it's still a big-time fight, though. How many casuals are going to think about that? Oh, it's a mandatory. Like, they're going to see, Earl's fighting Danny and Canelo's fighting who? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's the thing. I think you said it, right? So we won't get mad at Canelo for fighting anybody right now. So I think, like, we being maybe a bit too critical and thinking too much into what opponent is worthy of getting in there with him right now. We just need anyone in there. We need some action, and we'll give them a pass. Maybe not for too long, but it goes against what we always complain about, though, right? So in boxing, we want to see less of the politics. We want to see more of like the top guys fighting each other. And maybe now is the time also to shake things up, like have all those promoters just say, hey, you know what? Enough of all that politics. We just need to get together and then put our guys in the ring against each other, right? So
I mean, we could go back to the MTK Global Boxing Summit. Will a representative from PBC show up? Will there be a Sylvia Brown or a Sam Watson there? Or will the man Al Heyman himself?
Why not? Why not? Like,
I know. Listen, I want to be there too.
Yeah, this whole idea of competition and just not sitting at the table with the guys that we consider our competition is so old now. Now we talk in the era of collaboration. There's enough food for everyone to eat and to eat well, right? So, we're not going to change the world right here, but we need to start talking about it. We need to stop.
The first step,
selfish people saying
the first step is the boxing summit. The first step is that boxing summit and seeing who really shows up.
Yo,
they
Mastermind
need to show up.
Mastermind Supermax says he believes they will definitely bring up Jaime for that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, you do a poll, you're always going to get some people to vote one way or another, but economically, it makes absolutely no sense. From a trainer standpoint, for Eric Morales, he's going to say no. The Canelo fight will always be that Canelo's tied to Dazn for the next, 8 fights? He ain't going nowhere, bro. If you
no, Jaime Munguia.
Canelo's tied to Dazn for like the next 8 fights. He's not going nowhere.
You're saying it should be a pay-per-view. Got you.
I'm not saying it should be a pay-per-view. I'm saying Jaime don't need to rush. He just got with Eric Morales and he just moved up. He does.
Yeah, but it
not
goes
need
back
to
to what
rush.
Doomy says. He could lose to him, and he could end up benefiting.
Homie, if Caleb Plant got zero shit for turning down Canelo, let's move on, bro. Jaime's not even on Caleb's level. Like, why y'all rushing him? He's getting practically beat by Dennis Hogan, but we want him to fight Canelo.
Well, that's a low blow.
No, it's not.
I get you. But at the same time, it's like you said, it's the times we're in.
Yeah. Yeah, and we need to start breaking the cycle, right? And I think that's what I want us to do. At least that's what I'm going to do, right? When I come on here, it's just to say time needs to change. Like, I understand the whole thing, and we need to take our time with the champion or with the fighters that we're trying to build. But, at the same time, I'm going to keep going back to some examples, like James DeGale against George Grove, like Billy Joe against Chris Eubank Jr. Let's put them in early. Let's, stop those mentality of building the champion and the thinking of their pockets and thinking too far ahead, right? Because,
I think that we are coming closer to that time. I mean, you guys definitely been ahead of the curve. I watched that George Groves DeGale fight. They were like 10-0 or one was 11-0.
Yeah,
was
11-0 and 10-0. But that was a good ass fight, right? And then look at them.
I thought DeGale won that fight and got robbed.
I thought he did too. Like, to me, but at the same time, okay, it did a little bit of like damage to DeGale's career because the 2 years after that, he struggled to just get like on the biggest platform. But eventually, talent spoke for itself. The guy just, got world title, and they both like.
If we're gonna be honest, I'm sorry. If we're gonna be honest, Groves ended up having the better career. He got the controversy
when it's all said or done.
He lost to Callum Smith in the World Boxing Super Series as a real legit champ and retired. Cool. Unlike DeGale that was like losing and looking bad, then retired.
No, towards the end, but at the end of the day, like I think like DeGale had a very patchy time after losing to Groves. Maybe he had like 2-3 years where he was like left in the dark. But when he came back, when he signed the deal with PBC, when he started to make money, when he started to go on the road in the US, making big checks and collecting belts, that's when the tide started to turn, right? So when it's all said and done, they had very comparable career.
Negative, bro. Negative, bro. Listen, first and foremost, Groves had the 2 super fights with Froch. DeGale never got on the Groves level. He never got on his biggest hype was being one of the first UK fighters to sign to Al Heyman. So there's a huge possibility that he made a lot of money because I know that first fight with him and Darrell was like a $3-point-something million purse bid that obviously he got a big share of. But he never fought on the stage of a Groves. He never got the love of the UK public like Groves. Never.
That's where you're right. That's where you're right, right? That love of the public, and they all came from the first fight actually, and they all come from the type of person DeGale is. I think he's like that inner city kid. Like if you want to compare it to like the situation in the US, and maybe he rubbed people off the wrong way because he wasn't scared to tell you like I'm good. and I'm not going to be apologetic about it, you know. And that's why people really didn't like him. Like, why are you saying no? This is what we've seen on TV
Hell
here.
no.
Like,
Hell no. We gonna debate. We gonna debate some UK boxing.
No, you
Let me
don't
tell
know
you.
him like that. You haven't
I
seen
know
grown
him.
as a star,
I know
right?
him, and that excuse doesn't work because George Groves was equally as arrogant and talked just as much. Much.
Let me tell you, like George Grove, his name, right, is the Saint. You know, he's the Saint. He was just there in the background
of
are you David
serious?
Hay, growing up in those undercards, just like being quiet. And what really just brought him out, and what like people like about it, is that fight with Froch. 100%. The fight with Froch. That's when we started to see a George Groves that stood up to a guy, and you know, people loved him for what he did in those interviews, right? With in the build-up of the fight with Froch. But before that, I mean, George Groves was relatively quiet in the fights with the girl when they built it up. He was the quiet guy. He was
Bro,
the lovable,
how can you be relatively?
guy.
How can you be relatively
the
quiet
likable,
if it was going back and forth with him and DeGale since he was 10-0,
yeah,
and then he got the Froch fight and he was even more of a firecracker.
No, but he was
always,
the likable guy,
bro.
In the DeGale fights, he was the likable guy. He was the, you know, and I can tell you, we lived through it. We've seen it. You didn't know about this, right? You couldn't see that build up.
So
right?
he was the good guy in that.
He was the good guy against, like, because the girl was the kid from the street that's gonna tell you, you stink, you this, and that's what he did, right? I'm gonna beat you and I'm gonna take you, your girl, whatever, all those things. That didn't wash with the public. Whereas Groves, he didn't keep his mouth shut, but at the same time, he was just trying to be like the guy who was a bit more clean cut and all that. And when it came down to the fight, I think the public opinion is what got him that win, right? Because in the stadium itself or in the venue, people were just like sticking a bit more to with Groves. And I think that's what swayed the judges a little bit, right? I think that the girl won that fight, right?
Me too. So. I went back and scored it. I did
but
have
after
the girl.
That, like the girl careers, the girl fought in like shopping centers. Like we talk about venue. He had like a contract with, I believe it's like with Mick Hennessy, like one of the smaller promoter. And he fought in shopping center in front of 200 people.
And that's what I'm telling you. That George Grove had the better career.
Yeah. But then after that, he came back. That's the thing. Like, the careers went up and down. Both of them.
Not to the level. Groves never. Man, like, I mean, the girl never peaked.
About people that are followed, man. Like
me too. Me too. So show me. What's the girl's biggest fight, Mitty? What's his biggest fight? He don't got.
Badu Jack.
Badu Jack, yeah. That was a good one.
But I went there. That's what I'm. See, this is what I'm saying.
Cool, but that's a big fight.
I was live at that fight. First of all,
that's cool.
It was in D.C., bro. Come on, no, that ain't big enough for him. That ain't big. You can't compare that to Froch Grove's 80,000.
No, he doesn't have. He doesn't have a Froch Grove like 100%. He doesn't have that.
And he don't have a rider. He don't have a rider. He doesn't have another country paying out the wazoo for you to come fight. He don't have a Muhammad Ali trophy event that's going to be historical. Like, the Gale got the gold medal. He got the gold medal, and he didn't even get the win.
Disagree, right? If you want to tell me that you know how the public out here feel about those people better than me, then I cannot argue with you. I say, okay,
I'm
cool.
Just telling you what,
that.
I'm just telling you my opinion of the two. I watched both their careers. That's my opinion.
That's fine. Yeah, that's your opinion. And I think, like, you know, at some point it was right. At some point, like, the girl's career looked really bleak, and it was like so bad, right? But he turned it around, and he turned it around even in the mind of the people.
I don't see turning around. I don't see.
I'm telling you what it is.
Like a turnaround.
I ain't gonna lie. I was more up on James DeGale than George Groves. To me, DeGale was more like a guy I would like to watch.
Both of them, like, their history is crazy because their rivalry goes back to the amateur. Like, George Groves had it bad, right? Because DeGale is the one who made it to the Olympic team, is the one that just won the gold medal. And to him, he was thinking, like, you know what? Bro. That kid that I beat in the amateur and took my spot to the Olympics, and then just now he's shining. He's just getting that big contract with Frank Warren.
Yo,
that's where that's where the rivalry came from. Really.
How you giving him credit for turning his career around when after he lost to Groves, he went into like the Phantom Zone, and then Al sent him his lifeline, and then he fought Darrell.
So why would you not give him credit for that?
But this is what I'm saying. That second half of his career, the lifeline of his career, was also the downside of his career. So he didn't have a high. You know.
What are you talking about? Winning a world title is not a high?
Not in comparison to George Groves' career. We're comparing
Who didn't win a world
careers.
title? What are you talking
He
about?
did win a world title. Groves won a world title.
Towards the end against Chudinov? Like that's the
That
thing.
was a
But
good
before
fight.
that-
Did you watch it? I watched it.
Of
That was
course
a
I
good
did.
fight.
But before that, he was the almost guy. You know, he went in there and he lost to Badu where he should have won. Like I wanted him to win. He was in there and he was just like the almost guy. He would win, you know, he would go against.
But he was still on a higher level.
And that no, what are you talking about? That was like the business.
Agree to
But
disagree.
anyway, yeah, let's agree to disagree, right?
Yeah,
because I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I kind of enjoy both perspectives. You know, well, yours maybe being because you know what the crowds was like. You know, you guys talk about your UK boxers, so I could imagine the overall feeling and stuff. But the George Groves is just, I guess, in the last parts of the career were I guess a little more out there in the limelight to be known and to be talked about. I mean, at Kalen Smith, they both fought Eubank. I mean, I don't see too much disparity. I just don't see too much like. Difference.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Does George Groves have an upset loss? No.
How do you mean? What's an upset loss?
Where
he
he was
lost to
supposed
Caleb
to not
Truax, dog. He got beat up by Caleb Truax.
Listen, you know, every fighter will come towards a stage
Daniel
in their career.
Jacobs knocked out Caleb Truax years before Daniel Gill lost to him at a higher weight.
You keep doing this, right? But every fighters will come to a stage to their career where maybe they're going like one or two fights too long, and that's what happened to the girl. Like towards the end, a prime the girl or the girl that we enjoy never loses to Chris Eubank Jr., never loses to Caleb Truax. Those fights are fights where maybe we should not have seen James in the ring. That's fine. But that doesn't define him as, oh my God, he had that loss and he's trash. We have to understand where they're at in that stage of their career.
I'm not using the word trash. I'm just saying Groves had a better career. That's all.
Okay, that's fine. If you're saying that he had like a bigger fight in terms of like the Froch and the two fights with Froch, 100% agree. Like James DeGale doesn't have like an 80,000 people stadium fight and hype that you had for those two fights. It doesn't have that.
But it was Froch bringing that crowd too.
It was the two, man.
It was both, like, but mainly Froch. Like the first fight was not.
Yo, his ring walk was epic. Yo, he sold me.
That's what happened.
Epic.
People didn't like
epic.
it.
He sold me, bro. I was such a George Groves fan, bro. He has so much soul. Yeah. He was like Canelo, but white. Really, like he moved like that, but he just wasn't accurate and like I think he even gassed, but yo, he had me sold on his come up, bro. He was I like Groves.
Yeah, he's a good
I guess
fighter.
I'm
In
biased.
the first fight with Froch, you know, he went into that fight with people hating him, hating him.
He did good
but
too.
What he showed in that fight, that's when people said, "Oh, actually, we like that kid."
Yes,
it was 100% the Rocky moment. You go into the fights where people like boo you. By the end of the fight, you lost. But people love you.
It was a great fight too, bro. He was nailing Froch. He was nailing Froch. I think he got overzealous. He got overzealous, man.
No, maybe he did, but controversial. The referee messed up that fight because no matter what you tell me, Groves was like so ahead on the card. Was just like you say, he was nailing Froch with some big right hands. He beats up on Froch like
that's the thing, man. He sacrificed. He was that type of fighter that always looked for the knockout. So he sacrificed some defense but
that's
the
ref. The ref messed it up big time, right? He had no rights to stop the fights the way he did, because that was the first time in the fight where Gross was in trouble, and he jumped in and he stopped the fight. So, and that's what actually gave him the platform to get that second fight.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah, yo, he used to walk out so confident. Let me go to Greatness Harlem. What up? Just listening, going to Info Joe, Cali.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Hey, just listening, going to J Mac in New Orleans. I hope you're not just listening. You know,
Everybody ready for the rap battles?
I'm gonna need a heads up on who's ready and who's not here.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. I'm ready. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all.
I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from Derek.
It can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing. You want to bet?
You can bet 100,000 on that.
Let's bet $1 million.
Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
Yo, good morning. How y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Champ, we leave you loud and clear, champ.
Hey, good morning, my boxing bros. Mr. Nestor Gibbs to Mario. Hey, look, Mitty, just to be clear,
Good morning.
I like what you talking today, but when you get on here talking crazy, I'm coming at you. I go at anybody getting on here talking crazy. But I like what you saying today. It seems like you the talking reasonable. Mario and Ness, the Gibbs, tell them niggas take off them panties, them Canelo panties. Of course they want Canelo to get light touches. That's all Canelo does, and that's all he been doing at Dazn. If it ain't a light touch, it's somehow fixed to where Canelo, it benefits him. They don't want to see him in the ring with no off of COVID. He should be in there trying to get in there with a fucking Andrade or Charlo and stuff like that.
Watch your mouth, champ, so we don't get flagged, please.
My bad. He should be in there trying to get one of those big time fights, but they ain't here talking about a Rosado. So that go to show you what type of fanboys they are and what level of fanboys and they're willing to go. And as far as what you were saying earlier about the best fighting the best, that's never been Canelo and what Canelo did and stuff like that. After he got his behind whipped by Mayweather, they start panning it out.
You're like a scorned girlfriend with Canelo, bro. It's so sad that, you know, your hatred for Canelo allows us to see that you don't know anything at all about boxing. Shakur is fighting the best, right? And Jamal Herring, he's fighting the best. And who else is lined up? Michaela Mayer, she's fighting the best. And tell me who is scheduled fighting the best. I mean, yo, dude, please help me not call you names, man. Have a logical boxing conversation. Like, we're talking realistic boxing. If you think somehow, you know, someone is going to pull the Mack truck out for Caleb Plant to come across the street and fight Dazn, or they're going to, you know, I don't know, hire a rocket to shoot Billy Joe all the way across the country, cool, bro, do that in your head. I mean, you know, learn something about the sport, please. Jonathan, talk to me.
Good morning, PPV.
Good morning, champ. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Well, I'm going to kind of piggyback a little bit off of J-Mac. I think when we talk about the constraints as far as in-house travel, I think Boo Boo is this is the perfect time for Canelo to fight Demetrius Andre. I think everything lines up. It's coming off COVID, so you don't have to give him a lot of money, and it could be somebody that Canelo knock off the list, one of his fights. I just think that's the perfect time. If it wasn't COVID, I would be with y'all as far as Boo Boo, but I think this would be the perfect time for Canelo to fight a Boo Boo.
So is Boo Boo going to take less money in your scenario? Because remember, this is COVID time, right? And also remember that every time they want to fight Canelo, they want the most they get.
Well, again, like you mentioned, it's COVID time, so of course he's going to take less money.
Hopefully.
Canelo is contracted to hopefully he's going to take it because what he's going to gain from beating Canelo. On top of that, he could even be a catch weight to where
The only issue in the only flaw in your theory is that when we had Eddie Reynoso, he made it clear he's not fighting at 160. So the thing is, to Team Canelo, do they want to fight Andre at 68 beltless? I don't know.
But, yo, I was in the bathroom. Did y'all read Esso's super chat?
Esso's, no.
No.
Esso Akun said, how do you say that last name? Akun?
I say Akuni. But
Akuni? Okay. Esso Akuni says, DeGale got better wins. Groves got better fights. Yo, I agree with that all day.
DeGale's biggest win is Lucien Boutte, but let me get to a counterpunch from J-Mac.
Yeah, Mario, I know you just left that bathroom because you went and took them panties off, nigga. Like, excuse me, took them panties off like I just told you. That's why you left the bathroom. Yes, you could call me names all you want to and stuff like that. I got a name for
I don't have to. Your call says it itself.
Every time you call me a name, do not interrupt my counterpunch, please. I paid $5 for it, and I'll pay another $5 to get another 45 seconds. Look, you could call me whatever name you want to call me. Just because I don't agree with your logic, I don't know boxing.
I
told you not. You
don't.
Me. I don't.
Show me the super fight. Where the super fight at COVID at? Where the super fight?
I just told you the super fight. Charlo Andrade. He been ducking him since 154. So, I mean, it's no excuse why he couldn't fight neither one of those guys.
Now he want to get ahead. Now he want to get ahead and piggyback. He want to tag team with Jonathan. He want to now he want to add Andrade. But listen,
you're telling me that he was ducking Charlo and Andrade over Laura and Trout?
Bro, forget that. Forget that. Because he want to go back in time, right, and jump in a DeLorean. We're talking right now. We're talking COVID. We're talking right now. So if they think it's Andre, cool. He's going to have to move up. We played an interview where he was willing to move up to 68 to fight Billy Joe for a belt, so he'll be willing to move up to fight Canelo. But he needed Jonathan for that. That's not what he called in about. He called in about, of course, we want a soft touch, completely not factoring in the economics. It took another logical boxing fan to help your ass, so beat it. Info Joe, we went to you. King, buenos dias.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
Man, is just listening. He's just listening. And what about Sid in Orlando? You just listening, champ?
I think everybody waiting for that battle.
They better be ready then. He is just listening. Sony as well, right? You the commish. You just listening? All right.
I'm not just listening, man.
Go for it, champ.
Not much, man. I'm just like, whoever Canelo opponent is at this time, I mean, they might as well make the fucking, excuse my language. They might as well make the Rosado, if anything, because that's the easiest one for the cheapest budget. And if we keep waiting, we're going to be waiting forever. We got MMA fighting again tonight with some good names. So, man, get the show going, and people, if they're going to be mad, don't click it. But Rosado might as well be the answer, in my opinion. That's all I got.
Hey, before you go, you got mad time, so let me know. Yeah, you got mad time. Is that MMA card free?
Yeah, yep. They doing it for free tonight or whatever on ESPN.
On ESPN.
Oh, wow. Legal streaming.
No, they be killing them, yo. UFC does a lot of free fights, man.
See, but are they getting sponsorship? How is it that they're paying?
So many.
Wait.
Seen their cage?
No. Wait.
Yellow page.
Let's stop glorifying because I just seen one of your biggest stars crying that he doesn't make Deontay Wilder money. So that's how they're on free TV and they're doing competitive fights because their pay grade is not equal.
You talking about
listen to my argument. Listen to my argument before you run over me. Boxing fighters get paid way more than MMA fighters, so it's easier to put your best when it's, with $1 million, you got a whole card. You know what I'm saying? $1 million is one fighter sometimes, and he's an undercard.
Bro, that's why all these guys keep calling out boxers. Like, the only person that we've seen call out anybody MMA was Ryan Garcia with Henry Cejudo. And that's because you're talking about one of the biggest stars in MMA versus one of the most fastest rising stars right now. You know what I'm saying? So they're not on the same playing field. But that's why, because these MMA guys aren't making boxing money.
But Mario, educate me, because I don't know for sure, right? But I know that the top guys aren't making as much as the top guys in boxing, but how about across the board, right? Like, so is it like, do they make better money for a guy on the undercard who's not
I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of hard to say.
Don't.
How do you? No, wait. Why though?
Because if you look at it, like, if you just go across the board and you look co-main event, undercard guys, people that start, everything gets shifted down. There's a huge gap. There's a bigger gap from the bottom to the top in MMA than there is in boxing.
John, really? Yeah, that is true. John Jones said, I don't even make half of Wilder's purse.
You don't, bro.
No, that's true. But those two are the top guys, right? But I'm talking like maybe like the first the opening fighter on the.
You got to know too, Mitty. One of the big problems, like, MMA guys used to make better money when they were able to get sponsors and wear sponsors. Now they have to wear Reebok, and they all get a part of that deal, but it's not as good as it. They used to do way more outside. Like, we always talk about, fighters that get paid, their person, and they get paid extra. You know what I'm saying? That's what they used to get, MMA fighters. But now with the Reebok deal, it screwed a lot of those guys.
When they got bought out, the entity that bought them out, I forget the name of it, WMV or something like that. One of these like pretty big companies that basically own modeling, entertainment. They're really big everywhere. So think of it like a Al Heyman deal, where you're joining now with us and you're gonna get dibs on a lot of things now. I can cast you into a movie. I can cast you into a show. I could do this. So they're pushing these fighters in other ways where they can make money and still, get paid. So as far as purses go, from the disparity from the undercard and the main event, I think that UFC fighters sometimes, look, if you got a guy, Mitty, who's a guy that's just up and coming, a guy that, we could say makes 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. If you really look at it, these boxers don't make that much money. Ryan Garcia just started making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And who has he fought? And he's making $250,000 per fight.
Well,
what does an MMA dude got to do to make $250?
But let me finish my point, right? Shling.
Shinobi.
So, the money that they're making, sometimes it depends on what your clout is, We're dealing with so much with clout now. If you're a guy that's up and coming and you're loud and people like you and all that stuff, you're going to make more money than the guy that's probably like equally as good as you, but is not speaking so much. So and then you got your night bonuses. If you got a finish of the night, that's 50 grand. KO of the night, 50 grand. There's a whole bunch of other locker room used to get
50 grand is more than most fighters on the undercard of of a boxing fight, right? So when you see some of the Vegas disclosed purses, like, you'll see like people on the first opener for the night is on like 30,000. You know what I mean?
If
USD,
that.
right? If that, right? Or 20, 25, and that's small money, because you got to pay your manager, you got to pay your trainer, you got to, you know what I mean?
So it's like 7,000, 10,000. It just depends. You get that knockout of the night, man, or fight of the night. That's a 50,000 bonus you're getting. So it's just, you could kind of make things happen for yourself in the UFC.
The grass is always greener.
The grass is always green on boxing, dog. Guaranteed money versus all your little rinky-dink bonuses. Get out of here, bro. You sound crazy, man.
MMA hater, bro.
Yo, do you want rinky-dink bonus, or do you want guarantee?
Look, UFC's been doing a lot of good stuff. You can say all the stuff you want. They're the first ones putting out live events. They've been doing a lot of good for a long time.
Bro, do you want guarantee money, yes or no?
Yeah, but how many boxing guys do you see?
That's just something extra.
How many boxing guys do you see at the grocery store? You don't, right? But guess what? Monster drinks, and a lot of UFC fighters on a lot of different merches. So, it's not the same at the end of the day, and I agree, but
Real quick, we got a super chat from Jared Lloyd. Says, keep up the good work. DeGale started looking bad during the Medina fight. That, in my opinion, was the beginning of the end for him. Groves has had a better career and quality opponents. Yeah, where the horns at? Where the horns at? Even though Mitty said it ain't a win thing. Agree to disagree. No, I win.
You win because Jared said so.
Yes, because Jared said so. That's one vote for me.
It doesn't matter what they say out there in the UK.
We're going to Josh in North Carolina. Ringer, what it do?
Dude, what's going to be TBV? What's good with y'all?
What up?
Chilling.
Chill. Hey, man, I want to say something. John Jones, he got every right to complain. He really wasn't asking for Deontay Wilder money. He said he don't even make half what you make. So, you know, and if your boss says you the GOAT, I mean, you should be getting paid, you know, some good money, at least to move up for a heavyweight fight. So I get that out the way. Now let me go to Mr. So-called face of boxing, which he ain't. He ain't gonna fight nobody worth a damn. It's probably about 2021, maybe 2022. I forget, man. It was in boxing scene, man. I forget the dude's name. He was a trainer, a legendary Mexican trainer. He said Canelo's not even the top Mexican fighter of all time because he's being protected and he's been moving strategically. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, man, Canelo ain't gonna get no major fights that he looks like he's gonna be in trouble in to probably about his last 2 fights of his career. So it don't even matter, man. Errol Spence, yeah, Denny Garcia, that's what we probably be fighting on pay-per-view.
Yo, who said that? Nacho, right?
Ho. Hello. Just wanna say hello to all the haters out there. Yo, Nacho Beristain has been hating on Canelo since day one.
From the jump.
Come on, bro. It's all goody, though. It's all goody. I got my Canelo pom-poms. Y'all can be mad all you want. James Valdez, what up?
Hey, Ness, I'm kind of confused on the topic because if it's Canelo and Earl hosting a fight, isn't that Dazn and PBC?
Nah. Canelo and Errol Spence have been presented major opportunity to host pay-per-view showdowns in Texas, not against each other. You know, now that Texas has opened up the stadiums to 25% capacity, the two of them could put on their own event. And you know that Earl already got his mandatory.
Separately.
Absolutely separately.
So you're talking separately?
Absolutely.
10 seconds. So then it's the Zone versus PBC. Who gets that September card?
Canelo. Why would Earl try to go for September? He fighting Danny. I mean, look, he could. Floyd did it.
Yeah, I mean, he would.
Floyd did it. Floyd
did
it.
He do it?
No, Floyd did it. But is Earl ready?
Earl. No.
You know, does PBC believe in him? Does PBC believe in him to try and take that date, lock it in? I doubt it.
All right.
All right. We got Big Supermax with a super chat who says, if UFC had Ali act, it would be totally different. Shout out to Super Mix.
Shout out. Yep, he's right.
Shout out to Super Mix. We got who we got? We got Steve in Chicago. What up?
Yeah. Good morning, fellas. Yeah, I got on. Thanks for explaining it to the last caller because I got on late myself, and I thought you were talking that they were going to fight each other. So, but as far as their opponent, I don't know, but I want to make a comment on what Mitty said. Boxing isn't a league. I know as a fan, we would love for all of them to get together, but if they were a league, it would be just like UFC, and then these fighters would get paid. Him being a fighter, they'd be getting paid like John Jones. So he should be thankful that it's not a league. But I know it's a double-edged sword because in one hand, you don't maybe get the best fights for the fans, but then they make more money because these guys are running their own businesses. So we got to be careful what we wish for. You know, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Thanks, man. Hey, well, I'm not calling for a league, actually, right? But, you know, I get you, man. You know, we can't have everything we want, man, but hopefully we'll get there one day, man.
Yeah, man. We going out to Stonebone Boxing, Colorado.
What up? What up?
Morning.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Canelo should, if he gonna go after Rosado, man, he needs to go and give my homie Rob Brand a payday, man. Bob will let him go over there. Bob will let any of his fighters fight Canelo, and he right here. He right here in Omaha, so man, he can drive to Dallas in 9 hours. He'll pull up, put some hands on Canelo. That'd be a good check for him. Oh yeah, Nash, I always be giving Canelo hell, man, but today I just want to take this time out to thank Canelo for speaking up for us black men and being brutalized by cops. Man, that was a beautiful message he put up to the family. And man, listen, we can say everything we want to, man. These are men. Ryan spoke up. Canelo speaking up, man. They standing with us, man.
Damn, put him on the loop.
That Skype restarting on us. We got to go to Troy and Baltimore in the meantime.
Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Hello. Buenos dias. All right. Question for you. Then I want to touch on what the brother was just saying about George Floyd or something like that. But who else is out there that really interests Canelo to fight? I mean, who else is out there? Please don't say the Charlos. They haven't really done anything yet. But who else is a big name from like 168 to 175 that you could see that would grab his interest?
Well, we asking for your opinion on that. We've already talked about it.
Right, but I'm basically shooting it back at you in the audience. Like, who else is out there? Who? Because if you look at it, he's basically just he's chasing greatness, man. That's why he hasn't fought the Charlos and them, because I don't think he sees them as any challenge or great. That's why he hasn't fought them. It goes back to the whole comment I made about the wolf in the moon. I don't see it. Even with Earl, I don't see that fight being made because he's just too big. He's just too big to fight Earl at 160 right now. And then just to touch on the whole, the brother was saying about Canelo's, he was saying something about George Floyd and the whole situation. The only way.
Cut it.
Why would you cut me off at that point?
All right, let me get back to Stone Bone. Our Skype had restarted. But yeah, while that's doing that.
So
yeah, man, everybody's got it all mixed up. I mean, again, he's talking Earl and Canelo. That's not what we're talking about.
I did not think that it was as confusing as, like, I read it a certain way, you know what I mean? But I think the picture probably does it.
Everything together.
Yeah, because I read it and then I saw the picture and it was like, whoa, yeah, we're going to talk about them fighting. Like, where's he going with this? You know what I mean? So
no, people.
All I know is we got the champ in the building.
It's the thing is, people call me a dreamer, and then they're the ones dreaming, because I'm sitting here being realistic, trying to put a realistic card for Dazn and Earl. Right, both guys are big stars for two separate entities that can capitalize off of Texas. That is the connection. That's it. Two big guys. Top Rank doesn't have a Texas guy, not a proven Texas guy. These are two proven Texas guys in the sense that Canelo's fought there and sold tickets and pay-per-view, and Earl has fought there multiple times and sold tickets and pay-per-view. They can capitalize from the governor of Texas allowing 25% capacity in open stadiums. So that means that the Cowboys stadiums could get into business. Problem is, you guys don't use your brain. You know what I mean? You want to talk about how Canelo picking that Georgia. Man, so be happy to get this over with. Jeez Louise, Stone Bone, it had cut off on you in the middle of that. Obviously, you didn't have too much time left, but we did want to let you finish. But you really pressed for time there, because even Troy is mad. But we got a limit for a reason, Troy. You don't support it in any which way, so unfortunately we can't help you. But if you wanted to call back, you could always counterpunch. And Stonebone chose not to. All right, so that's perfect. We're done with this. We'll be back live. Actually, we got CYP. Apologies, CYP. What up?
Readiness.
Not just woke my ass up. Oh, excuse me. I gotta say hi to the hookers and hoes, the hoes and hookers. You know, I want to make sure. And Mitty, what up? What up? I like you, man, because you actually really do fight. You actually do really train people. I like people who actually do what they say every day instead of getting on a chatting about something they never, ever will do. I appreciate that. Now, but I wanted to get your opinion on what a knockout is to you. I've never said that Ruiz knocked out AJ. I say AJ quit. To me, I was watching a replay of Diego versus Floyd. When Diego's dad jumped on the apron, Diego getting his ass kicked, but Diego looked over and told his dad, "What the fuck are you doing?" They went ahead and stopped the fight. I don't believe that Floyd knocked out Diego. I believe he whooped his ass into submission. I don't believe that Wilder got knocked out. I believe he got beaten to submission. In a real fight, for me, in my opinion, and y'all can talk when it's over. In my opinion, if you don't knock a man out, you can't walk away talking about I knocked that man out. There are some men who just you cannot knock them out. You could beat them down, but they ain't going out. Some men are like that. But
cut it. J-Mac, Boomerang.
Yo, can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah. First of all, I think I want to address. You said it took for somebody to call in and agree with me. I originally said in my first call.
I ain't say agree with you. I think you got an earphone problem.
Whatever. It took. You said whatever you said. I'm addressing it. But first of all,
how could you address it if you ain't even hear it properly?
Man, look, I'm coaching basketball right now. Man, listen.
All right, so then why argue if you're not getting the conversation entirely?
Man, look, hey, continue protecting Canelo. That's all you do. Everything's going to be pro Canelo for you. You're going to make excuses why he can cheat. You're going to make excuses why he can fight like touches. You said something about fighting the Golden Boy fighter, something, I forgot his name, and what have you. And you made an excuse for him fighting him, and that's a good fight right there.
Yo,
you just want Canelo just walking.
Yo, is this dude like? Does he got like Is he got like early Alzheimer's, bro? You come on here, you don't know nothing that's being said, and just say stuff. I never said that someone agreed with you. I said it took a caller to help you. He mentioned Andre. Now you called in and mentioned Andre. Other than that, you just call in here not knowing what the topic is about, just spewing hate about Canelo. That's what we're talking about. But anyway, Idris in the UK, what up? Are you just listening, waiting for the next one? I know you're here to get your boxing bars on, so going once, twice. That means we've gotten to everybody, and everybody's boomerang. I don't see no stainless there. We up out of here. Oh, he got another counterpunch. You got to know when to hold 'em and when to fold 'em. Good up, J-Mac.
First of all, you like painting a picture because I guess this your show. You got the mic at the end of the day.
Paint a picture.
In my first initial call, I said fight Andrade. He came in and said, I'm going to back up what J-Mac said, and he went off with Andrade. So, far as my topic and what I know about the show, I call in, I hear, and I respond to what I want to respond. Whether you agree with it or you don't agree. But I originally said Andrade in my first call. I've been saying Andrade. I've been saying Canelo been ducking Andrade since he couldn't even make 154 and was fighting at 155. Now you got your little cheerleader in my reel coming out here. Yeah, Yes, he did. It's factual. Mm-hmm. It's factual because he had the chance to fight Andrade for the WBO belt. Guess who he fought instead? Who? One of them. I can't even think the brothers. One of the. You know who I'm talking about, man. Like I said,
bruh. Get your thoughts in order, man. You keep wanting help. Yo, you know what I'm talking about. Remember that guy? No, we don't. We can't help you with your argument. This is a debate show. See, I at least paid attention in school. I was on the debate team. That's why I'm pretty good at this, man. How you going to debate? You can't even remember the names of the people.
You was on the debate team?
Hell yeah, in elementary.
Wow, that's dope.
Hell yeah. And guess what?
That's one of my biggest regrets.
And guess what? Okay, since we going into boxing balls, I promise you, they let me spit in one of the debates. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. And let me tell you, what was the president? The vice president didn't spell potato properly back in the day. I'm old, man. I'm old.
Quail. Right?
I don't know.
It was not Quail.
He spelled potato wrong back in the day. He ended up in the verse. But yeah, and that's GTO, Instagram, and Twitter. Catch us on the next one. We're going to be on Boxing Balls. Immediately after this, we're going to take a bathroom break, and we'll be back to spit some balls and keep it boxing with no cursing. Peace.
Yeah, it was Dan Quayle.
Yeah. Boom.
Dan Quayle?
Boom. Ness. Peace. That's right, DBX. Why you mad at the debate team? But I'm out here slaying them. I'm out here slaying them.
Yo, Ness.
Counterpunch CYP. Counterpunch CYP.
Hey, this is all for all fun. Did y'all realize Ness just said he was on the debate team?
Yeah.
In elementary. Did y'all miss that?
I mean, it was in elementary.
There was a lot of arguing in elementary.
It was in elementary, dog. I even told you the president we was talking about.
Props to you.
Because look, after the debate team,
let everybody hear that.
Listen,
you said that real quick, but you was honest though. I give you that.
No, I am. Listen, I played sports after that, so I got a little bit tall. I always tell you I was like 5'10", 160, going into high school. So I was a little bit tall for 8th grade, and slightly decent for high school. And that's how the basketball career went out. But when I started playing sports, obviously there was no time for debate. You know what I'm saying? I had to make that transition.
There was always time for debate. Because even in conversations, you was always
not
debater.
in my school, man. Even though it was a public inner city school, Miss Stevenson wasn't playing, bro. You had to be. She was running a tight ship. You know, you had some teachers that really loved their job, so it was no different. But I preferred sports. You know what I mean? I told y'all before I played football, so I was playing Pop Warner in elementary, and then high school football. I even did wrestling team. I just didn't have my stories like Doomy because I never liked it. It was whack. The minute I didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. Like I didn't last for what is it like when you go through basketball you could get cut. I ain't even go through that because that's too much for me. That was not it.
And they wrestling, man.
No, I ain't talking about the workouts too much. I'm talking about I'd rather boxing. That's what I'm just saying. I'd rather boxing.
Cuddy ain't trying to wrestle, get choked out.
Bro, I was thin. I told you I was thin. I always hated people wanting to wrestle, man. It's like, come on, dog. Let's get it
Stay
in.
At the end of the long
let's get it in. No, they want to choke you up and slam you. I was thin too, bro. CYP counterpunch number 2.
Combo breaker.
Yo. Listen to this. I've noticed that PC Jacob has been on all these shows. I've seen him a long time. I've seen that man going around hating for the UK. That's cool. I appreciate you. Whatever. I'm challenging you to a live Facebook or Instagram debate, face to face, homie. No more typing, no more running, no more dodging, no more dodging. You come on.
He said pay him $100.
Get my Facebook, whichever you comfortable with. Me and you face to face. Let's have this debate.
He said pay him $100 and he'll sign today. You are the A side. He said you are the A side. Send the offer. CYP. I love it.
You know what? If he really agreed to that, I'll do that. It got to be at least 30 minutes. I'll do that today. If you could agree to that, no, matter of fact, I'll put it in Ness account because I don't trust you. I'll put it in Ness account. So if you don't show up today, you got to get my money back. How about that?
Well, there you go. Offer issued is up to you to accept before any funds can be transferred. Not only that, the two of you are going to have to buy an on-demand show unless you're going to host. You're going to debate somewhere else offline. But if you want us to host it, just buy an on-demand show. Head on over to theboxingboys.com/on-demand, and you can actually cater how you want. If you want to be on screen, you want to accept callers, you want to make it for 30 minutes, you want to pay for more minutes, you know what I mean? And then you're going to have a legit debate where you can have callers decide who actually won versus, a bunch of screaming and bickering. But yeah, like we said, we got other things to do. We'll be back with a Boxing Bars in a few minutes. It's already scheduled, so the link is there. We're just late as we were still doing this. But yeah, man, Ness GTO on Instagram and Twitter. Catch us on the next one. Peace.
You can catch me on IG, Alex_.
Yo, why y'all never told me Enrique was there? Enrique, I'm sorry.
Nah, that's cool. I didn't even read any articles. I jumped in thinking, we was getting into bars.
Oh, you ready for the bars? All right, so we gonna end this. We'll be back. You see, the champ is here. The champ is here. Yo, you should have.
Main event.